Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Monotui, coach of the Tampa Bay Luxrays, and today I'm bringing you guys our PPL Season 5 Week 6 match versus Will, aka Makati, coach of the Bouffalant Bills. If you've not done so already, please check out his YouTube link in the description below. Really cool guy. He was the one who did all those epic fish battles for like the GBA finals and for whatever else, whatever other battles he did the epic fish battles for. Really cool guy. I apologize that this game is going to be from his perspective. I know me fucking up videos and getting them out really late is kind of a meme at this point, including this one. But unfortunately, when I went to go to my DS, it just for whatever reason would not connect to the Wi-Fi. So I wasn't able to get a battle code, and I wasn't able to get my side recorded, so I was like, whatever, this video is already late enough, let's just go over and ask Will for his side, and he was like, yeah, sure, then here it is. So, without further ado, let us just get into the team breakdown. My team consists of a Roselia Berry Hydreigon, meant to take a Dazzling Gleam from the Delphox, as well as possibly a Dazzling Gleam from the Nihilego, things like that, even Dazzling Gleam from the Shaman, and fire back and attack. We have a Choice Scarf Victini. We have a physically defensive Gliscor with Toxic Orb. We have a Z-Haze, actually, physically defensive Cofagrigus. If you don't know what Z-Haze does, basically you go for Z-Haze, and then it does the Haze effect, so all stats are reduced back to 0, and it brings you back to full health. So it's basically like a free rest, a one-time use rest that doesn't have any drawbacks to it, other than you can only use it one time. Then we have a special defensive Rindo Berry Swampert that can take a Grass Knot from Nihilego easily and fire back an Earthquake. Can also take a hit from Shaman if I absolutely wanted to, and can get up rocks or whatever, and I can take a Grass Knot or a Solar Beam from Delphox and hit that thing with an Earthquake, which is really nice. And then we have actually a Swords Dancing Koba Berry Hawlucha, which can take a +2 quick attack after rocks from the Mega Pinsir, go for an Acrobatics to knock it out, and get the Unburden boost and possibly sweep through his team. That's really useful because I can set up a Swords Dance, pretty much spam High Jump Kick across the entirety of his team, except for the Delphox as well as the Mega Pinsir. And if the Mega Pinsir comes in, it's going to be clicking Quick Attack. I'll be able to eat my Koba Berry, and then I'll be able to knock it out with the Acrobatics, which is really nice. Plus 1, +2, I'm pretty sure Acrobatics knocks it out anyway. And Delphox, after rocks, dies to +2 Acrobatics anyway, as well as I believe +2 High Jump Kick, depending on its spread. But regardless, that's our team. For the team that Will decided to bring, he has his Delphox, his Zygarde 10%, his Skarmory, his Shaman, his Nihilego, and his Mega Pinsir. So Victini is going to be able to put in a lot of work. Scarf Victini, that is, should be able to outspeed the majority of his team, and he doesn't have a great V-Create switch in. Like, Zygarde 10% does not want to switch in a V-Create. Nihilego doesn't really switch in a V-Create, and I am running Zen Headbutt on this thing anyway, so that's not a switch in. And Delphox does not have the best physical defense in the world, so I'm going to be okay with that anyway. So, without further ado, let us just click the play button and let us get into this game. So, I'm going to lead with my Hydreigon because it has a decent matchup versus the majority of his team. If he leads the Skarmory, I can hit that thing with a Dark Pulse or a Flamethrower and get a lot of damage off onto that. He is actually going to lead with his Delphox, as I lead with my my Hydreigon, which is very good for me because I am running that Roselia Berry, and he is actually going to stay in and go for Dazzling Gleam. I'm thinking at this point that he's going to be Scarfed, because I could very well be a Scarf Hydreigon, and why would you risk your Delphox? So, you know, he could probably be Dazzling Gleam in order to outspeed a Scarfed Hydreigon, and then, or he could be Scarf rather, in order to outspeed a Scarf Hydreigon and knock me out with Dazzling Gleam. He lives on 1 HP, however, and I'm going to switch out into my Victini because I'm thinking he's Choice Scarfed, and I think he's just going to go for another Dazzling Gleam. He doesn't end up going for a Dazzling Gleam. As it turned out, though, he was actually Ghosty MZ with Shadow Ball, which would have totally wrecked my Victini. But I'm not exactly sure why he stayed in turn 1. I guess he knew he could live because Delphox actually lives Timid Scarf Dark Pulse most of the time. And I actually got a decently high roll on there, but it didn't matter because he ended up living anyway. Regardless, I can just go for a U-turn with my Scarf Victini and then send out my Gliscor in order to give it its Toxic Orb, which is really nice. So now whenever it switches in, it'll be getting that 12% back. He is then going to go out into his Skarmory in an attempt to get up rocks. However, I am running Taunt on this Gliscor as well as a little bit of speed in case he wanted to run speed on his Skarmory. So I will be able to go right for that Taunt. He's not going to be a Mental Herb, and the rocks are not going to go up on my side of the field. Now, I'm pretty sure he's going to want to go out into something along the lines of Shaman. because Shaman can deal with Gliscor pretty well, especially if it has Synthesis or Leech Seed, something along those lines. So I'm going to go right out into my Victini, and as you're going to see here, he does actually end up going right out into a Shaman. It's one of the only things on his team that could have taken an Earthquake. And now, basically, he has to sack something, because nothing happily switches into V-Create, and he actually opts to sack off his Shaman. And it's dead, and that's really nice for me. So Shaman was in here for one turn, took a V-Create, and just went down immediately, which is really nice, because Shaman was one of the things stopping my Gliscor, because I didn't have a good way to hit it. I could taunt it, obviously, but that was it. But now, however, he can send in his Zygarde 10%. But I do have a very solid answer to this, and that is going to be my physically defensive Gliscor, which I am going to send out here. And as you can see here, I am at full health, and he is going to go right for the Bandit Outrage. And as you can see here, that hurts quite a bit. That's going to do about 50% to my Gliscor, even though I'm physically defensive. That's definitely a Banded Zygarde, and I am pretty much at this point forced to go for the Roost, as he is going to go for another Outrage and bring me very, very low. However, I am able to go for that Roost, get myself back to a decent amount of HP, and he is going to get the 3-turn Outrage. However, he is guaranteed to get confused on the next turn. So what I'm just going to do here is go for the another Earthquake. Even if he's able to knock me out in this exchange, me going for Earthquake puts him in range of V-Create from Victini, which is very nice, puts it in range of Zen Headbutt from Victini, and that's kind of one of the ways I want to win this game, is by spamming Zen Headbutt with my Victini. I can weaken the Pinsir a little bit and do it, I can weaken the Skarmory, or I have to get rid of the Skarmory in order to spam the Headbutt, but regardless, spamming V-Create is still really good versus this team, and this means that Zygarde cannot switch into it. And what's really nice is because, well, I'm going to get a crit. That doesn't really matter in the slightest, because Victini would have knocked him out anyway. I'm looking at his team, and he has a bunch of things that outspeed and can kill Hydreigon, so I'm just going to sack off my Hydreigon. If he is able to, if he hits himself, rather, he'll just go down, and then I have a Hydreigon in front, and he'll have to kill me with something else. If he doesn't hit himself, then he'll be able to break through and knock me out. As you can see here, that is exactly what he does. He breaks through, knocks me out. Not a big deal, because I was sacking off Hydreigon anyway. And now I can just send in my Victini and click U-turn, because I can gain initiative, or I can knock out this Zygarde. And as you're going to see here, he actually sacks off his Zygarde. Really nice for me, because now I can send in whatever else, and Victini is still pretty much set to sweep, as long as I am able to, as long as I don't allow his Pinsir to get up to +2 with Rocks Up. As you're going to see here, he is going to be able to get his Rocks Up. However, I want to hard switch out into my Victini. I was going to say I want to get my Rocks up, but I don't really need Rocks to win this game. Like, Victini nukes everything anyway, so I just wanted to go right out into that, so that I can get in before Rocks, get myself keep myself relatively healthy, and then just click V-Create onto this thing. And as you can see, I am going to go for that V-Create, and he reveals the Aqua Berry, and this got me really scared at first, because I was like, oh god, if he has counter, I'm just going to lose my Victini, and that's going to be a major problem, because why else would you run Aqua Berry? But as you can see here, all my stats are going to drop and whatnot. As you can see here, he's actually just going to go for a layer of spikes, which I am very much okay with. That makes sense, the Aqua Berry, just because he can take a V-Create after Rocks, and he doesn't need Sturdy to live it, and then he can go for the layer of hazards. But because I am Scarfed, I will be able to outspeed this Skarmory after the -1 speed drop, and we will be able to get rid of this Skarmory. Once again, really nice. Also very nice for my Hawlucha, because it's in a decent position in order to possibly sweep later on. Regardless, his Skarmory is going to go down. That's really nice for me. And now he is going to send in his Mega Pinsir, which is something that I do have to switch out versus. So I am going to hard switch out. And I am actually, no, I'm going to go out into my Cofagrigus, because if he hits me with Return, he loses Aerialate and whatnot. If he goes for Swords Dance, he then has to knock me out with Return, and if he goes for Earthquake, that won't kill me, and I will be able to go for the Z-Haze, bringing myself back up to full health and getting rid of his stats. As you can see here, he is going to Mega Evolve. He's going to show really spooky Mega Evolution, and then he's actually going to go for Double Edge, which was really scary, because Double Edge hurts quite a bit. Like, I'm a fully physically defensive Cofagrigus, and that still almost kills me from 76%. However, we are going to get rid of his Aerialate, which is really nice, and now what I can actually do is go for the Z-Haze, and I go for the Z-Haze here, because if he wanted to Swords Dance trying to set up on me, hoping that I would miss Will-O-Wisp or something along those lines, or if he wanted to switch out into Nihilego in order to knock me out so that he can get the Beast Boost, he will not be able to, because I'll be at full health. And with me being at full health, I will be able to go for the Hidden Power Ground on this Nihilego, which I am running. I didn't really need any other coverage, so I was like, alright, I'll run Hidden Power Ground, kind of deal with the Nihilego a little bit more. It's not going to do too much because Nihilego's Spadef is really solid, but regardless, as you can see here, I am going to get myself back to a full amount of HP, as he is going to hit me with the Power Gem. He's going to be able to 2-hit KO me, which means that he is Specs. There was no other way he would have been able to 2-hit KO me unless he was Specs. As you can see here, Hidden Power Ground is going to go off, and then he is going to be able to knock me out. However, because I know he's locked in a Power Gem, I could go into my Swampert later on, and even if he gets the Beast Boost, which he will after this turn, it's not going to be all that big of a deal. As you can see here, he's actually going to get the Beast Boost in speed, meaning he's running Timid with not max special attack. So that he can get the speed boost. That's smart, but like I said, I do have my Swampert, which can take the Power Gem easily. I know he's choiced, even if for some reason he's not choiced and has the Grass Knot, I can't die to it because of my Rindo Berry and the fact that I'm fully special defensive. So here, I am just going to go for the Earthquake. I didn't need a reason to overpredict here. I could just go for that, as he is going to send in his Mega Pinsir. And now, I do want to keep my Swampert, and I don't want to risk him going for Swords Dance. And if he does go for Swords Dance as I send in my Hawlucha, that's going to be really good for me, because I can live the +2 Quick Attack with the Cobra Berry and then knock him out with Acrobatics and look like a god. But unfortunately, he's just going to go for Double Edge, and he is going to knock out my Hawlucha, and then I'm going to go down, and then I'm going to be really sad. Even the Cobra Berry could not stop a max attack Double Edge from Mega Pinsir, so that kind of sucks, but he is going to weaken himself quite a bit. And now I'm just going to send out my Swampert once again. I can win this game by locking myself in a Bolt Strike with my Victini, but Bolt Strike has that chance to miss, so what I'd rather do is just go out into Swampert, force him to go for the Double Edge, which will allow, which will obviously knock out my Swampert. Well, not obviously, but holy shit, that's going to knock out a Swampert, though I am special defensive, so it makes sense. But that will put him in range of Victini's Zen Headbutt, so I can basically go out into my Victini, lock myself into Zen Headbutt, and win this game 100%, unless he crits me with Quick Attack, and I think he has to get like a max roll crit or something along those lines, because Victini, with its natural bulk, will be able to live this Quick Attack, as you're going to see here. Quick Attack's going to go out, it's not going to be able to knock me out, and we will be able to go for that Zen Headbutt. With Victory Star, we cannot miss Zen Headbutt, which is really nice. We're going to be able to knock out the Mega Pinsir, and then all he has left is his Nihilego. We know he is not Choice Scarfed, because there's no way he could have there's no way he could have 2-hit KO'd the Ecophagus, so we are just going to go for the Zen Headbutt once again, outspeed him with the Choice Scarf, and knock out his Nihilego. And we are going to win this game 2-0 over the Bouffalant Bills and Makati in a pretty close game, pretty intense game. I think I was pretty much in charge throughout the entire game, like starting from turn 1 when I was able to weaken the Delphox heavily. I was able to get rid of the Shaman pretty much immediately. He just didn't have a good switch into Victini, hence why Victini actually got all 6 kills this game, which was kind of funny. But regardless, very good game played to will. Definitely check out his YouTube link in the description below. I hope you guys kind of paid attention to how I played the endgame, because I could have I could have increased my differential this game, but it would have come at a risk of me missing a couple moves. So I decided to go for the lower differential, but the 100% guaranteed win. I think that's usually the best way to play games, unless you absolutely have to get a higher differential in the game. Like, you need a higher differential in order to beat out somebody else. I'm not at that point in the season, so I just decided to get the guaranteed win. Regardless, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next game.